Hi and welcome back to Yoga with Tim. I'm Tim and this is Ollie, and today we're going to do a little flow video. We're going to start with a non-traditional warm-up standing. So stand up on your feet and stand with your feet hip distance apart. And first what we're going to do is just mobilize your thigh bone in the socket. So this mobility work should help to feel more freedom when we go do the sun salutations and the practice. So all I'm doing is marching in place here, nothing fancy. And then let's do some arm movements. Take the arms forward, out to the side, and up and overhead. You just want to feel the inner arm bone releasing back into the socket when you're extending the arms up and over. You want to feel that the sides of the neck feel tall. And let's see if you can do that marching movement as you move your arms at the same time. And then we're going to transition into toe taps. So lift your knee up and then tap your big toe behind you into extension. And then we're going to do it into a lunge. Drop your knee down. Now firm your left outer hip in, draw your navel in, and then raise your right arm straight up. Plug your navel back and stand. Change sides. So we'll do the toe taps on the other side. And then step back into a lunge, lower your knee down, firm your right outer hip in, navel in, then raise your left arm up. And then step up, and let's go side to side in the lunge. So as you lower your knee down, there's going to be a tendency for the spine to sink, pull up through your crown as you're lowering down, like you're balancing a book up on your head. So as the back knee lowers, get taller through your spine. And as that back knee lowers, feel the opposite outer hip engage. We'll pause at the bottom for a moment and then press through the center of the heel to come up. So as you're doing this, just notice the heat that's building in your body. And so this is going to help so that when we go to move and hold in the stretches, it's the muscles that are more willing to move instead of just borrowing and pulling at our tendons and attachments. Then stand up tall, drop your right ear to your right shoulder, drop the chin towards the chest, over to the other shoulder, head back on top, drop your left ear to your left shoulder, roll it around, bring it up on top. Then interlock your fingers, bring your arms up and overhead, spread your chest wide, and raise your arms up. Turn your palms to face each other. With a little bend in your knees, spread your arms and fold forward. Inhale into a flat back. Then plant your hands and step back into a plank position. So the last part of our little mobility warm-up here, without your middle wiggling, twisting around, try to bring your right knee to your right elbow. Imagine you had a cup of coffee on your sacrum. That's the top of your butt, low back area. Change legs, bring the other knee up. Change legs. And now let's see if we can pick up the pace, but keeping the spine steady, so that your hips aren't swinging side to side. And now let's try to take the knee to the opposite elbow. And then knee to chest. And then really pick up the pace. You might spill a little bit of coffee, but try to keep it as steady as possible. And then set your knees down and stretch back into child's pose. Come back up onto your hands and your knees. Bring your right hand behind your ear. As you exhale, bring your right elbow towards your left wrist. Inhale, twist, open up. Exhale. Inhale, open back up. Last one, exhale, then slide the hand behind the wrist off to the side. You can stay upright or slide the hand deeper and lower your shoulder down. Come back up. Let's do it on the other side. Hand behind your head, exhale. Inhale, twist, open up. Exhale. Inhale, twist, open up. Exhale, twist and hold. You can stay here upright or slide the hand all the way with the elbow bent and lower the shoulder. Come back up onto your hands. And stretch back into your first downward dog. Oh, you're being such a good boy. Press down through the four corners of your hands. Lift up on the inner arms. Lift up on the inner shoulders. Walk your feet to the front of your mat. Put a little bend in your knees as you let your head drop. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins and reach your chest forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up, raise your arms. Exhale, your arms down at your side. Samasthiti, inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Plant your hands, step back into plank pose. Lower into chaturanga. Inhale into upward dog. Exhale into downward dog. Bend your knees, look forward. Step or float up to the front. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Inhale, your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Now bring your hands a little closer towards each other. Press down through your left big toe as you raise your right leg up. Three-legged dog. Imagine I had a rope across your hips and I was pulling your hips up evenly away from your wrists as you push into your hands. Then shift to plank, bring your knee to the outside of your right armpit, pull it up. Lower it towards the midline, and then lift it back up. Rotate it externally. Lower to the midline, lift it back up, rotate it externally. One more time, lower to the midline, lift back up, rotate externally, pull up, and then step your foot all the way up to the outside of your right hand. Drop your back knee down, point the toes back, and let your hips start to melt forward as you scoot from the low abs up towards your chest. Now you can stay here for 5 breaths on the hands. If you're looking for a deeper stretch, you could lower onto the elbows, or you can put the elbows on a block if you're somewhere in between. You don't want to collapse into your spine. You want to still get the feeling that the spine is decompressing. So if I try to put my elbows all the way down, then I'll like start to hunch over and collapse. But if I go to this spot or up on the hands, I feel like I can still open the hips and elongate. All right, then from here, come back up onto your hands, curl your back toes, lift your back knee up. Plant that left hand flat, and then twist. Spin, take your right arm up. Turn onto the outside edges of your feet. Lift your navel up to your heart. Lift your heart up and away from your hips. And then as you ground down into that left hand evenly and lift up on your chest, stay here or step your right leg back into side plank. Take your top arm, rotate it externally, reach it all the way over, lift your hips up, and then stretch back into down dog or take a vinyasa. Bring the hands a little closer together. So narrow-handed down dog, and as you push down through your right big toe mound, raise your left leg up. Reach the hip creases up and away from the floor. Grow your arms longer. Then shift into plank, pull your knee up, and lift that knee up and out to the side. Slowly lower it back into the midline. Lift it back out to the side and rotate it externally. Slowly lower into the midline. Lift back up to the side, rotate externally. Now pull up higher and step the foot to the outside of your left hand. Drop your back knee down, point your toes back, and let your hips start to melt forward. You can stay up here on the hands or go down onto the elbows or somewhere in between, up on the block maybe. And this pose is called lizard pose. So again, as we're going into our flexibility, we never want to just collapse into it, because then you're borrowing from your joints instead of getting the muscles to help and participate. And that's what we're looking to create more space by feeling the stretch deep in the belly of the muscle instead of just sinking into your flexibility. Then come back up onto your hands, curl your back toes under, lift the back knee up, plant your right hand underneath your shoulder, spin, twist, take your left arm up. Turn onto the outside edge of your feet as you lift your heart up. And then hold there, step your left leg back. Then lift up your hips, rotate your top arm, reach it all the way over, and stretch back into downward facing dog, or take a vinyasa. Look in between your hands, step or float up to the front of your mat. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Chair pose, bend your knees, sit your hips back. Raise your arms up. And stand, release your arms at your side. Surya B, inhale into chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot up to your right thumb. Set up your back heel, warrior one. Inhale, come up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your left foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Press down even into your hands, look forward, step or float up. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale into chair pose. Stand, Samastiti. One more round. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step back and lower into chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Bend your knees, look in between your hands. Step or float up. Inhale into a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, chair pose. Stand and release your arms at your side. Now we're going to approach the standing poses by stepping from the front of the mat. So if you like blocks, you can set up one block at the back of your mat, the other one up at the front. First sequence, we'll practice triangle into twisted triangle. Step your right foot back about 4.5, maybe 4 feet. If your legs are shorter, spread your arms. Left leg angles in a little, right leg turns all the way out. Stand tall, lift up through your crown, tip your pelvis out over your right thigh, and reach and place your right hand down onto the outside of your foot. Hold here for 5 breaths. Reach down through your feet, inhale, come back up. Turn your legs to the other side and reach out over your left leg. Reach down through your feet, inhale, come up. Now turn your legs for twisted triangle. So the back foot, I pick it up, turn it in a little more than halfway, raise the left arm straight up, grow as tall as you can, reach, twist, put your hand down onto the outside of the foot, on the block or on the floor. Revolve your ribs, chest, and take your right arm up. Now glance down and make sure that you're long to the line of your right big toe, that you're not rounded over your leg, and you're not lean back. Push that inner foot down, lift the right outer hip, pull it back. Reach down through your feet and like a windmill, come up and around for the other side. Place your right hand onto the outside of your left foot, block our floor. Spin your rib cage and take your arm up. Glance down, make sure you're in that line of the big toe, press through the inner foot as you pull the outer hip up. Press down through your feet. Inhale, come back up. Parallel your feet. And then with a jump, bring your legs together. Jump wide again. Don't kick the blocks. Turn the left leg in a little, turn the right leg all the way out. Bend your right knee, put your hand onto the outside of your foot, block or floor, and extend your left arm all the way overhead. Reach down through your feet, inhale, come back up. Bend your left knee and put your left hand onto the outside of your left foot. Reach your right arm all the way over. Press down through your feet. Inhale, come up. Twisted variation. Back heel up. Bend your right knee. Hook your left elbow. Join your palms together. Press down through your feet. Inhale, come up and around for the other side. Spin your back heel up. Bend your knee and hook your elbow. So I think it's really important to practice the standing poses like this once in a while. It might not feel as like athletic as stepping from down dog, but the coordination that it requires, the balance and coordination to do it gracefully is really important to build that. Press into your feet and come back up. Hop or step your legs together. Stand in mountain. Step up to the top of your mat. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back to down dog or take a vinyasa. Step your right foot for warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Palms together, look up at your hands. Lift out of your lower back as you take the upper spine up. Then open up to your side for warrior two. Bring your hands back down to your mat. Spin your back heel up, reach your heart forward. Then scoop up your navel, float your arms back behind you. Step up to balance on your right leg. Hold here, or see if you can reach your arms forward. The spine shouldn't round, keep that length. Then bend your knee, step back into warrior one. Bring your hands down, step back into downward dog, or chaturanga, up dog, then down dog, take a vinyasa. Step your left foot for warrior one. Inhale, reach up. Press down through your back heel, lift up through your upper spine, look up at your hands, join your palms, and then see if you could let your left leg sink a little deeper. Then open up to your side for warrior two. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Spin your back heel up, level your hips. Then lean into your left foot and step up. Float your arms back, reach your heart forward. Hold there, or see if you can extend your arms out. Bend your knee, step back into warrior one. Bring your hands back down, step back, take a vinyasa, or stretch right back into down dog. Step your right foot for warrior two. Inhale, come up. Come into modified side angle, place the hand down onto the inside of the foot. Then wrap your left arm behind your back, half bind, chest open. Straighten out your right leg halfway, but don't let your right hip kick out behind you. Keep it in the line of your ankle. Then bend your knee, keep the hip tracking, slide your hand a foot in front of your pinky toe, and raise your back leg up. Lift and open your chest, then turn and take your left arm up. Bend your knee, slide back into warrior two. Hands to the mat, step back into down dog or take a vinyasa. Step your left foot, warrior two. Place your left hand onto the inside of your foot, take your right arm up. Then wrap your arm behind your back, half bind. Start to straighten out your left leg halfway without the hip kicking up behind you. Reach into the four corners of that foot. Now rebend that knee, keep the hip tracking as you slide your hand a foot in front of your pinky toe and step up. Open and lift the chest. Keep the tailbone lengthened out of the lower back. Turn and take your arm up. Bend your knee, slide back into warrior two. Straighten your left leg, turn your toes in so your feet are parallel. Hands on your hips. Roll your chest open, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come into a flat back. Exhale, see if you can fold even deeper now. Now if your head is pretty close to the ground and you feel like you could lean into your head and practice your tripod headstand variation, raise the legs up, keeping the shoulder blades lifted, index finger knuckle down, and elbows in. To come out, split the legs wide apart, and slowly lower down, keeping the front of the pelvis lifted, and then slowly round the buttocks. Inhale into a flat back. Walk your hands around to the front of your mat, and step back into down dog or take a vinyasa. So, of course, if you're wondering, how can I learn to do those arm balances? I highly recommend checking out the arm balance series, which is free for the conscious movement community, or you can purchase it. I'll put the link below. Make sure to check that out. Set your knees down onto the floor, cross your legs, and sit in Dandasana. All right, so now we're gonna do some posture strengthening and core strengthening. In my opinion, it's the same thing. Working on strengthening your posture, probably with these like neutral spine things, is just as important, as if not more important, than doing crunching stuff. So sitting up as tall as you can over your sit bones. You might need to bend your knees so that you're seated like your back's up against the wall. See if you can take your arms up without sinking back. That requires a good balance of flexibility in your legs and then strengthen your spinal muscles and your core muscles. Sit bones straight down, lift up tall through your crown. And then bring your arms down at your side, roll your chest open, and then lie down onto your back. Hold those legs up If you need to bend the knees to get the lower back to lengthen, that's fine. Get the feeling like you're stretching from the top of your head and your sit bones away from each other, and then plugging the low abs in, just lower your right leg slowly. So it's hovering maybe an inch above the floor, and then change legs. Keep those abdominals plugged into the spine. Change legs. That's how you're gonna get the spine healthier and strengthen your core. So it's not about how low you could go, how many you could do. It's if you're training the abdominals properly. Are you doing it fall from your neck and your jaw? Maybe you need to do a little less so you can train the core muscles instead. Activate the spine. Feel the spine getting taller as you're lowering that leg. Lengthen the hips out of the back. Sides of the skull, out of the shoulders. Neck tall, neck long. And now let's see if we can do double legs. Lower both legs a third of the way, keeping the abs in. Another third of the way, keeping the abs in. Maybe a few more inches. And back up. These are freaking hard. Lower a third of the way. Lower another third of the way. Lower a few more inches. And then lift up halfway. Now just to make sure we get all the abs, let's do the rectus now. Hands behind the head and curl up Ardha Navasana. And hold for 5. Breaths, that is. 4. Curl up higher. 3. 2. 1. Lower your head, take your legs up. Straighten those legs all the way, take your arms up, and slowly reach the arms back. Now get longer, reach the hips out of the back, reach the back of the skull away from the butt. And then slowly bring your arms back up as you bend your knees. Plant the feet. Good boy. And lift your hips up. Lower your hips back down and take a breath. One more time, go back up, lift your hips, spread your chest muscles and your shoulders as you descend your upper arms. Hold there or go up into upward facing, what's it called? Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward bow. And then lower your hips back down. Cross your right knee over your left knee and grab a hold of the tops of your feet. Change the cross of your legs. Uncross your legs for Shavasana. Blocks, you're ruining my Shavasana. All right, once you get the blocks out of the way, then you can relax. Let the palms turn open, let the feet fall open. Just let go now. Practice watching the rhythm of your breath. Train your attention to your breath. And feel how calming and soothing it is for your mind just to watch the breath rhythm. And gently bend your knees and roll over to your side. Press yourself up to seated. So in just a moment of mindfulness now, let's sit tall together and take 3 conscious breaths. And notice the quality of the breath, how different it is from when you started. Notice now your current mental state. Without judging, just notice. And notice how your body feels. Light, open, refreshed, energized. Maybe these are some of the feelings. Bring your palms together. Thank you. Namaste. Thanks for joining me today. Hey, let me know how you feel below, what kind of type of feelings you have after you practice. Those are some of the ones I have. Love to hear from you. And hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's the best way to support the channel if that's something you're into. And it'll also make sure that you don't miss any future videos if you make sure to click the notifications bell too. That's a new thing, so you gotta do that. Have a great day. Oh, one last thing. Some of you guys are more interested in deepening your practice, trying more challenging poses, longer videos. I'm gonna put the link to the conscious movement community below because there's a 1-hour version of this video where we work on the splits. We also work on some arm balances that are more challenging. So if that's something you're into learning, I want to recommend checking out over there. Also that arm balance course, you can get that too. Have a great day, I'll see you next time.